Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you the ultimate guide on how to play Namor in Marvel Rivals. Namor is the best anti-dive hero because you can throw the monster spawn here, which will continually attack enemies, and this is great for pesky Spider-Man that may be attacking your back line. So he's great for protecting healers like Luna Snow, who he has a team up with, and he's got actually some pretty crazy damage, and he's also a great anti-flyer, and with Human Torch being very popular nowadays, with Storm and Iron Man also being popular, this is great because he can take them down pretty good. His weapon doesn't actually have any damage fall off either, so if you're able to hit a couple headshots with his attack here, it can wipe out most enemies very quickly. Now it obviously is a little bit challenging to get a headshot with his attack since it does have a bit of a curve to the throw, so you do have to aim a little bit up and to the right. As you can see there, that is able to land headshots pretty consistently, so you can throw out his monstrous spawn there and they'll deal damage to people in a very fast way, and if you hit headshots they attack even quicker, which you can see right there. So you got a lot of different abilities at your disposal with Namor, which I'll be showing off in this video to its full extent. Now the main attack he has is actually very strong. You can only do about one of these per second. His fire rate is 1.09 per second, so it's not as fast as a lot of other attackers, but his attacks hit really hard. They do 70 damage each, so if you're landing a headshot, that's 140, and two of those can take out anyone, even a Luna Snow, who usually has very high health. So that's really nice because you can just wipe enemies out left, right, and center with Namor. But the big part of his kit is these monster spawn, and every time you land an attack with this, you can see there it's charging it back quicker. So you only get like 0.1 second back per hit with your attacks, but every little bit counts because these you want to have up at all times. They have a lifespan of 8 seconds, so you do have to throw them out and then replenish them often, but the more shots that you hit, the more that you'll be able to replenish them. And he also has this amazing team with Luna Snow, who is the best healer. So if you got Luna Snow, you can throw this extra monstrous spawn here, and it'll do a little bit extra damage, and it'll last for 10 seconds instead of 8 seconds. So whenever you empower them, they do less damage, but they shoot at 150% of their normal attack speed, so that's 1.5 times faster, meaning that they'll get attacks off a lot quicker. So with his aquatic domination, the monstrosities that he throws out, they do 17 damage normally, but if you empower them, they will do 11 damage, but attack much quicker with that. And their fire rate is 2 per second, or when they're empowered, they shoot 5 times per second, which you can see right there. It goes really quickly, so they can just burst down people. And they also have a range of 40 meters, which you can see here. This here is 30 meters, so an extra 10 meters off of that, which is actually some pretty crazy range. They only have 100 health though, so you do have to protect them and throw them in very smart places. The thing is though, with these monster spawn, if you throw them up higher on walls that are like kind of hidden, people won't even pay attention to them. This is great on maps that, like, let's say they're coming from this doorway here, you can throw this up on top of the doorway and they'll run through and then just start getting pelted by it. And for the most part, people will be focused on your team and not at attacking the monster spawn. So that's some of the best places to throw them, up high. You do have to angle it because they do have a bit of a fall off, so you can see there they kind of curve downwards real quick. But for his main attack, it's only headshots that'll land and give him the extra speed on his attacks. However, your alternate fire, even if you just hit a shot with it, they will attack faster. So if your aim is not that great, you can still get them to attack a little bit faster. Although Namor is kind of a hero that you want to play if you got great aim, because his attacks can do a ton of damage there, as you can see. So with that, you do want to aim obviously with a bit of that curve in mind, because his attacks will curve a little bit, so that's something to keep in mind. But the Wrath of the Seven Seas, his alternative fire, does 40 damage default or 60 enhanced, so it's not great damage, but the reason for the alternative fire is to get them to get fired up and attack quicker, because that's going to be the best way to take out divers. So with that, he does have a projectile speed of 120 meters per second, so his attacks are coming out pretty quickly. But you do want to be able to land them as much as possible. So setting up your squids is going to be a big part of your gameplay. If you notice that putting them in a certain place, they get removed quickly, throw them into a different spot. But for the most part, people don't look up that much in Marvel Rivals. So if you're able to throw it in like a position where you can see there, it drops off really quickly. So if you want to get it up on a very high position, you do have to get a little bit closer to it. So like land it way up there, it's not that easy. So you got to keep that in mind, that the positioning is going to be tricky, and you do have to aim a little bit higher than you would expect to be able to land those. So getting them off in certain maps like Domination is huge, because you can have them hidden right by the spawn, or right by the domination point, which can just pick away at enemies. I would recommend though though, to have these back by your healers if at all possible, because if you can hide them up high and someone comes to dive your healers, like Spiderman, for example, he's going to be web swinging around and still taking damage from that, which you can see it has a crazy range to it. So that is the beauty of these monstrous spawn, is just the range that you can get off with them, and your range as Namor himself, as his weapon does not have any damage fall off. So you can literally throw these. If you get 2 headshots from long range, that's going to take out most of the enemies that you're going against. So it is a little bit challenging because they have a bit of a curve to them. So again, you do have to kind of lead your shot a little bit, as they do 120 meters per second speed. But for the most part with Namor, I'll show off gameplay with him because you do want to get these off in a good position, and it's all about positioning when it comes to Namor. So I'll show that off right now. Now, you don't want to throw your squids out in the open like I just did here, as this is going to get them destroyed quickly, as they only have 100 health. You want to have them up high on walls, especially if the team is running mostly a melee combat team like the Thing and Iron Fist there, so they can't actually reach the high up ones. So this can help because it's going to be consistently attacking them. Now, this is pretty crazy. Shouts out to my healer there keeping me alive. But yeah, that's the thing with Namor's attacks, is they hit really hard. So if you're continually going to be landing shots, you can take enemies out really fast. And the squids are there just to take people out. But you can see the squid went down there, unfortunately. You want to have them in positions that's going to, 1, protect your healers, but 2, also get at the enemy's healers and harass them as much as possible, because then it's going to take away their healing from their tanks and their other people on their team. So if you can set up squids in a way that's going to, 1, protect, and also be on the offense, that's going to be most optimal, as they can do around 55 damage per second if you have them set up and hit a headshot. So you can see there, it's actually pretty consistent damage if you're able to get them in a good spot. Now, I didn't even talk about Namor's got the ability to go into that bubble there, which blocks all damage, which can be really effective at protecting him while he grabs some heals, and also your squids can continue to attack for you. So sometimes it's good just to hunt down, like the Thing here. I've seen that he was close to death, so I went after him. I threw the squid there just because I needed to get some hits off, and they were kind of pushing backwards, so I figured that that would have been a pretty decent spot, even if it's not the best spot to throw that down. But any other places, like you can see there, I put it right in front of the Avengers logo. Being able to hide it there was really nice. This map is great for Namor because he's got so many great spots to throw the squids. As you can see, I would not recommend putting them on the middle part there. They only last 8 seconds, but anytime that thing moves in the middle, they're going to go down. So you just got to watch out for that. But throwing them at the walls there in front of the enemy, whenever they run out, they're going to continually get hit. And for them, they'd have to turn back around and attack the squids at that point. So they're just going to get a lot of damage in and not be really the target of many attacks. Now, as Namor, if you see any other squids, take them out right away. This is going to be good for defensive purposes. But the Horn of Proteus, his ultimate there, as you can see, is pretty decent. It does 500 damage in the middle and 200 on the edges, and stuns them for 1.5 seconds. So it's actually pretty damaging if you're able to land it. It does come in a little bit slow, so you got to watch out for that. But if you can land that shot, it can take out all healers in just one shot with the center hit, which you can see when you pull out the ultimate. Now, this is another good map to be able to throw squids around because you can see them up on high positions there. And I was getting hit by one there too. So if you're able to focus on putting them in positions like that, it's going to be great for your team. Now, here we were getting dived pretty hard, so I threw one up on the wall there. If anyone came back to attack us, that squid would be getting at them, and it started to attack this Thor here, which alerted me to take them out. So it's all about finding the right position for your squids and for your ultimate, and then in between that, it's finding the ways to get headshots off. So obviously, the larger the hero, the easier it is to land those headshots, and people like Jeff are pretty easy to headshot as well, so you can rush towards them a bit if you need to get that headshot off. But yeah, you can see there, throwing the squids up on the wall there worked really well because for the most part, they weren't able to even really focus on them. Especially with the chaos of a game like this, putting them up on high positions like that is perfect because then they can't take them out. And especially if they got a team that's focused mostly on being close range, which this team was, so that was to our benefit. And with the popularity of the Thing right now, these are a great way to kind of get some easy shots off on the enemy. Now, here's a great example of using your squids. I threw it down before I got hit with the Jeff ultimate, and then it took Jeff out. So that was perfect because it got us free from his ultimate, and otherwise it may not land. So the Penny and Namor are the only two that can really deal with Jeff after they get swallowed. So yeah, if you found this video useful, please hit the subscribe button below.